There are a lot of operators in Siege, and out of all of them, I guarantee a few of them you're playing wrong, which is why in today's video, I'll be going over the 11 Siege operators that you're playing wrong. The first of which being Zero. The mistake that I see Zero players making is they don't know exactly how to use his cameras or where to place them. Now here's the thing about Zero specifically. There's two viable ways that you can actually play Zero. You can play Zero as a flank watch operator, or you can play Zero and to use his cameras as a way to drone yourself into the building, kind of like you would use a Yana, for example. Now both of these strategies are actually viable depending on if you're stacked or if you're solo queuing. If you're solo queuing, using him as makeshift drones like a Yana would be more acceptable, but if you're in a stack, using him for flank watch would be the most optimal way to play him. If I wanted to attack lobby and I didn't have a camera in here or anything, I would want at least a lobby camera before I walked in. So having a camera just like this is great. Now I can see all of lobby, top banana, and I've essentially droned myself into the top floor after going up the staircase without having to actually throw a drone down. Here's the thing though, you don't have anything for your flanks, so you can either use a drone for your flanks if you're good enough in the prep phase to do that, or you can shoot 1-0 camera here to watch tellers, and 1-0 camera here once you flip it around to watch the hallway that can flank you in the middle of marble stairs. You can zap the default camera here, so now you have a flank camera for this hallway, you have a flank camera for tellers, and you have a camera for top lobby. So now no one can literally flank you at all if you want to be able to push this part of the map. And not only that, but this camera up here also provides information to where you'll be pushing next. So you want to be very efficient with your Zero cameras. Instead of just shooting a Zero camera somewhere into sight where it's going to get shot and not using any of your Zero cameras for flanks, which means you're probably going to get flanked, you need to be using Zero cameras like this one that does both effectively. That way you can save your other 3 Zero cameras for other things. So let's say that I'm playing Zero, but I have cutoff cameras because I'm smart and I use one in the prep phase, right? I have a cutoff camera here or maybe over here that can watch my bottom flank area, or maybe one just on this couch that can watch both doors. But I shoot a Zero camera here, right? Now with one drone that I use in the prep phase and one single camera, I can take lobby control pretty easily, right? That still leaves me 3 Zero cameras. Let's say I want a flank camera in this hallway right here to watch my flank while I push up in Trump on the left. I could just shoot a Zero camera on this wall or on the floor, somewhere where it's like a little bit hidden. And now I have a flank camera for here and a flank camera for anyone that's behind me on this Zero camera here. That leaves me 2 entire Zero cameras to shoot into sight to get more information, right? So if you're in a ranked setting, the most optimal way to use Zero is to find a flank camera or a flank drone in the prep phase that can watch your flanks while you use the rest of his cameras to get into sight. It's essentially combining both of the playstyles of playing Zero into one in the most efficient way possible. Now let's move it over to the defense, where the next operator you're playing wrong is Clash. Clash is a very simple operator, which is why she's pretty frustrating to deal with. The common mistake that I see Clash players making is they're way too far extended and they have no help from their team. So let's say I'm playing Clash in the kitchen of Cafe. It wouldn't be that smart to be on the double door right here zapping people outside of it when they can easily melee my shield, Cali my shield, whatever it may be, and shoot my feet. Also, if I'm playing up close to the attackers, I'm all up close and personal, anybody in bakery can't really play off of me. Whereas if I was Clash and I played on this bakery door, now I'm close to my team so they can play off of me and they can't melee my shield as easily. I probably have my discs that are protecting me from Zofia stuns, Ash stuns, whatever it may be, so it's just a lot safer. I also have a very safe route back to site where I don't have to expose my back to anybody, so playing Clash more on site and next to your teammates is a lot better for not only you, but for your teammates as well, instead of playing super close where it's more dangerous and doesn't even make sense because you can zap from far away anyways. I think Clash is one of the most misused operators in the game because people don't know how to play her, so they think that she's bad. But then when they go against people who know how to play her, they think that she's just a bad operator because they can't beat her either. So, like, you kind of have to pick your struggle. You either think she's bad or you think she's dumb. If you learn how to play her, you won't think she's bad, but you'll definitely think she's dumb, so I hope you can get to that point in your Siege career. Someone else that I really hope that you get better at is Nomad. Now, the mistake that I see Nomad players making is using air jabs on flanks for staircases. You never want to do this. In fact, you actually never want to be using Nomads for flanks in general. This is because, let's take red stairs on Cafe, for example. There's not a single place where you can put an air jab where it won't get shot. You put it at the top of the staircase right here. Someone can just go to bottom red and shoot it easily. You try to put it in the middle of the staircase behind this pillar. They can walk up and shoot it. The reason that it's so easy to shoot air jabs is because you and your reaction time are a lot faster than the reaction time of the air jab whenever you see it, which means you can reliably shoot it no matter where you go. If you try to put an air jab on, let's say, the corner of this staircase, which is the best place that you can put it, I can just listen to the air jab and know know it's there and just pre-fire it and kill it before it ever goes off on me, right? So it's just never good for flanks, especially because most people can just see it wherever you put it. Instead, the only thing you should ever use Nomad for is runouts. If I want to collectively not have to use 2 claymores to get both of these windows, I can instead use 1 air jab. That 1 air jab covers both of these windows, which allows me to have a 2nd air jab for this window, and maybe a 3rd for somewhere on site if I get the plant down. You never want to use air jabs as flanks, literally ever. You can do what Nomad does with just drones. Not only that, but at least if you're playing flank watch with someone like Gridlock, they at least have to put multiple bullets, and you'll hear that. It's much louder. With air jabs, people with a silencer can just shoot it once, and you never know about it. So if you get flanked when you have a Nomad, you can't say I didn't tell you so. Someone else that you're playing wrong that can easily get you killed is Castle. The mistake that I see Castle players making is they just don't know the optimal place to put the Castle barricades. The role of Castle is to extend the bomb site to waste time. Moreover, if you're on a bomb site with a first floor objective, which means they can get vert above you, your job as Castle is to extend the bomb site into a place where they can't get vert, which is why Kitchen on Cafe is such a good example. On this site, there's vert everywhere. You have vert for Kitchen that goes above Kitchen from mining, from fireplace. You can get vert through the kitchen holes onto anybody inside of the other bomb site, and you can even get vert on said other bomb site as well. So there's just a lot of vert for the site, and it makes it really uncomfortable to play. However, if you have a castle set up to where you have maybe a prox alarm on the double door, you have a castle barricade right here, you have a reinforcement on this wall, and a rotate on this wall, with a castle barricade on this double door here, now you've made it to where if you want to play inside of small bakery or just bakery in general, you can do so. And the great part about this is they can't play vert on it because it's marble, right? So now as Castle, just because you put 2 castle barricades down, you've essentially made it extremely safe to play in areas where they can't play vert on you because you just extended what you're able to hold on the site. That is the job of Castle. You're just extending the area that you're allowed to play in to waste as much time as possible so you're not exposed to other angles that you would be normally. Let's say that I know they're going to get this breach open because we don't have a cave, we don't have a bandit, whatever it may be. If I open up head holes right here as Castle, and I castle off my coat check window just like this, now they can't get into main lobby, they can't get on the reception double door, they can't get into restaurant, and they can't shoot me while I'm in coat check, holding the angle through the head holes onto the breach. It makes it to where now I'm safely able to play in here. Not only this, but people are able to play vert on this hallway right here. If I want to safely play in coat check and use my castle to do so, now again I'm extending the area that I'm able to play, and now I'm able to not be hit by vert, which is another great thing about Castle. So stop castling random barricades to site, random windows to site, random windows like this, and start using barricades to cut off huge lines of sight, like this one, so you can rotate into places that make it to where you're not able to be played by vert on, and also to extend the bomb site to waste as much time as possible. That is Castle's job. Someone else's job that you're not doing properly is Blitz. Now, the mistake that I see Blitz players making is they get too kill hungry. As Blitz, your job is not actually to get kills, it's to take space. Let me explain. You have to start playing Blitz more like you would play Monty, and less like you would play Ash. I know it's tempting to run at people when you have a flash on your shield and you're able to be a 2-speed as a shield operator, but it's not the optimal way to go. Let's say as Blitz that I'm pushing dirt right now, right? I have dirt control because no one was here, it was uncontested, there was a barricade here, and now it's broken. So they know that I'm here, but I'm in dirt. As Blitz, it doesn't make sense if I know someone's in armory and someone's in blue to just run at somebody and try to flash and then try to kill them. That's not what you do as Blitz. That leaves me open to someone shooting me in the feet, someone getting a teammate on this rotate to shoot me, or someone on this doorway to shoot me. You never want to take any risks as a Blitz player. I know that sounds funny, but hear me out. If you're ever attacking this bomb site, something that you can count on is teammates opening this hatch, or at the very least playing vert on this bomb site. So as Blitz, if you're trying to rush dirt in order to get a plant down and help your team, you need to wait for them to do this. Waiting for them to open vert right here and get the hatch open makes it a lot harder for anybody in armory to be in armory. And if you're in dirt, holding passive ghost pressure right here, they're going to feel a lot more pressure to run away. Now, because you have teammates who are on vert, who are on the hatch that killed or made this player run away in deep armory, you essentially have all of this free space that you're able to take. Now, because I know no one's on my right, I only have to watch angle here, angle here, angle on the box, angle on dummies, and angle on the door. Not a lot of angles. I can easily use my smoke grenades to cut off these angles, because now you're able to throw smokes behind your shield, right? So I can smoke off my left, I can face check the left right here, and then I can smoke off dummies and the door to the hallway here. And now I've cut off a lot of these angles, and I can go ahead and take the space here. I can face check the rotate, make sure no one's in church, or I can face check feet holes here to make sure no one dies while they're getting the plant down. I can face check these doorways once the smokes have gone off to make sure that we maintain the space. But because I'm playing Blitz and I face checked the door right here and I made my presence known, I started, shooting people passively, smoking passively, people ran away and gave me free space. And now as Blitz, all you have to do is hold that space, flash a few people, maybe, melee a few people, ADS them. You don't have to run at them. Just maintain and take space. Play passive. I'm able to secure a lot of free space for my team just because I did this. So start looking at Blitz as a space-taking operator and take opportunities when you see it, and less as a rush operator, and your win rate as Blitz will skyrocket. Someone else that you can get a higher win rate on if you play correctly is Echo. Now, the mistake that I see Echo players making is they're way too focused on trying to deny a plant and passively get information on people rather than actually trying to get kills with Echo cameras. If you wanted to get information on people and get kills and deny a plant, you could easily do that with Solus or Valkyrie, or even Maestro, but that's not Echo's job, and I'll explain why. Let's say as Echo, I have a cam inside of games, and I have a cam inside of dorms to be able to deny both of the common plants. This Echo camera in games can deny the game's plant or the default attic take plant over here, whereas this Echo camera can deny anybody planting in dorms or anybody planting inside of kids right here. As Echo, it would be a terrible idea for me to sit and play Echo inside of kids and deny a plant, because if they know that I'm playing Echo, they're just going to push me when I'm on my cameras. And as Echo, you never want to be off-site roaming, sitting on your cameras, because you're probably going to get roam cleared, or you're going to be useless to your team when they need your gun up, and it's very hard for you to retake as a 3 armor, so I don't recommend doing that either. So how do you play Echo? You play Echo for kills. I'll explain how. Echo does this funny thing where he brings a deployable shield. That's right, play on your shield. If you have a shield, let's say right here to watch trophy, or you have a shield watching white, you have a shield in attic, whatever it may be, as long as you have a shield that you're able to play off of, you can use a camera where you would normally have a body in order to get a free kill. Let's say I know that they're in trophy, right? I could have an Echo camera right here sitting in Bolo. The second they swing out, I get on my Echo camera, I stun them, and now I get a free kill because they're stunned out in the open. Now, there's better examples of how to do this. You want to specifically be doing this in places where they can't go back. So if someone were to say hop in the dorms window all the way over here, the big double window right here, if they were to hop in and go for a plant, or maybe just hop in, go for kills, use utility, whatever it may be, I can stun them. And now, because there's no chance of them going back to the window because everyone's shooting at them and holding angles at them, I would get a free kill and pre-fire on that stunned player. You essentially make hard committing as an attacker very dangerous to do. Whereas the example on the trophy door, they could easily just unpeak the trophy door and it doesn't really do anything. Examples like this, or maybe the drop down in attic, are great examples of using Echo to trap players to swing and get free kills on them. So instead of using Echoes for plants in a meta where planting barely ever happens, use Echoes for kills and swing off of every Echo camera every single chance you get. Someone else whose utility you're using in the wrong spot is Gridlock. The mistake that I see with Gridlock players is they're using way too many of her Gridlock tracks for flanks. Let's say the site is billiards and hookah, and I'm going for an aqua plant behind the bomb right here. In a perfect scenario, I would only have to use one Gridlock tracks for flank, which is my luggage flank, right? I don't need to put multiple tracks throughout this hallway. The rest of the Gridlock tracks I would use for sight. That is just a good golden rule of thumb. As Gridlock, you only want to be using one Gridlock tracks for flank and the other 3 for sight. Now, depending on which map you are doing, at the bare bones minimum, you can do 2 Gridlock tracks for flank and 2 for sight, but you never want to do 3 or more. This is because you can always use a drone in the prep phase, a cutoff drone, to watch one flank while you use Gridlock tracks on 1 or 2 others. So there should never be a time where you have 3 different Gridlock tracks on 3 different flanks. It just doesn't make sense. That's because as Gridlock, you want to be using Gridlock to cut off areas in the site whenever you go for your plant. Gridlock is a very plant-friendly operator. Not only do you make it to where they can't rotate from common rotates on the site to deny your plant, but also she brings smoke grenades in order to smoke off head holes, or EMP grenades in order to get walls for the plant. And then also, Gridlock tracks being deployed makes a bunch of noise, which actually covers the sound of you getting that bomb down that you want to get down. So you need to start using Gridlocks more for actual plants and executes, and making it to where they can't rotate through the site like these ones here, and less for flanks that your drones can easily do instead. Someone else whose utility you're placing in the wrong place is Legion. Now, unfortunately, Legion mines aren't invisible anymore, which I know sucks, but you gotta get used to it. I see way too many people putting Legion mines in front of doorways like this that are easily just gonna get shot by enemy players. More commonly, however, and even with people that are good, they'll put Legion mines on staircases like this. If I'm an attacker and I'm walking up the staircase, I'm going to see that. I don't know why you would ever do that. Instead, use natural cover for Legion mines, kind of like this right here. So if anyone were to walk up the left side of the staircase like this, they're going to hit that Legion mine. But because they're looking at rafters, they're not going to look down there to see the Legion mine. Not only this, but if you're on a staircase with a little bit more cover on the ledge than this one, you can hide them behind like these little trusses of metal right here. So when they walk up, they're less likely to see it because they'll be thinking that the Legion mine is just part of the actual railing. You never want to put it just in the middle like this. That's completely useless. They're just going to shoot it a lot of the times. A better staircase to actually show you what I mean here would be the red stairs because it actually has like a guarding right here that blocks the view of the Legion mine. But instead of putting a Legion mine on the top of the stairs or the middle of the stairs right here, putting a Legion mine on the corner right here makes more sense because what do people do when they walk up staircases? They hug the staircase, right? So that their body is blocked. If I were to go all the way back here, I'm exposed to the rafter window. But good players will hug it a lot of the times too. Not only will they hug it for this reason, but they'll hug it because it allows them to be able to swing in a more efficient way that gives them more of a peeker's advantage than if they were to do it wide and slow like, right? So you can use this to your advantage by putting Legion mines in the sides of things like this where they're not going to see it. If I'm taking a left, if I'm going up the staircase, right? My crosshair is here. The whole time, right? My crosshair is here, it's here, it's here. It's never down there, right? But if I'm walking up the staircase like this, my crosshair is here. And if there's a Legion mine in the middle of it, I'm still going to see that. Or if there's a Legion mine, like let's say on the right, I'm still going to see that when I'm walking up, right? It's clear as day right there. But the one on the left isn't, right? My crosshair and gun's blocking it. My crosshair is blocking it. My crosshair is blocking it. So you kind of have to use crosshairs from attackers against them and find optimal positions for Legion mines that way, instead of just putting them in the middle of the staircase where an attacker is just going to like see that, shoot it, and then, you know, come back up here. It just doesn't make sense. Something else that doesn't make sense is how you're playing Grim. Now, in the past, I've actually said that Grim is just another version of Capitao, and I know a lot of people think this, but I actually disagree the more and more that I've learned how to play Grim. I think the best way in a solo queue ranked environment that you can play Grim by yourself is using him as a way to drone yourself in, kind of like you would with Zero, which is why I brought you to Top Floor Bank again. In my ranked game, literally today, I had a friend who was playing Grim, and I was telling him, hey, can you Grim off elevator to check if anyone's there, so that I don't have to like face check that angle and I can look over here instead? That's how you use Grim. You don't use Grim bees on someone if you know that they're there. Like if I got a call out, hey, there's a guy in an elevator, why would I shoot Grim bees at him? What, so I can know which side of the doorway he's on? It's not gonna matter. I'm gonna aim to the left. If I see him on the right, I'll shoot to the right, right? Because I just know I have that kind of mechanical skill. If you're confident in your skill, you don't really need to like shoot Grimbees at people to know their exact location, right? It doesn't make sense. Instead, use Grim as a way to find out if there's people where you don't have information on. So, for example, again, if I'm walking up these staircases, I have to worry about the hallway angle. I have to worry about the close angle on the wall. I have to worry about the left and right side of elevator. I have to worry about the potential rotate here, the potential rotate here, the angle on the wall here, the common head holes, the double windows over there in the hallway, the windows here if anyone's here, the hallway right next to me, the double door here. That's not even all of them, but you get the idea. There's just a lot of angles, right? As Grim, you can minimize this. Let's say I want to push to the left and push into sight through Trump. I want to shoot Grimbees in elevator, and I want to shoot Grimbees, bouncing them off of this wall in the secondary Grim mode into this hallway, right? This Grim bounce allows me to know if anyone's on the double door, top marble, in the hallway, on the rotate here. So I just cleared like 4 different angles with 2 Grimbee canisters, right? And because you have so many, that's not even scratching the surface of how many Grimbees you have. I still have 3 left, right? Minus the one that I already shot in the elevator earlier, but you get the idea. Now I know my entire right's clear. I just have my crosshair on my left, and I clear, right? Quick peek, right? Quick peek, right? Quick peek, quick peek, pre-fire, quick peek, quick peek. If I want to see if anyone's close left, I Grimbee that. Okay, now I know no one's here. I'm gonna run to sight. Let's quick peek first, right? We quick peek. Okay, I know no one's here, but I want to make sure that my right is clear. My hard right is clear. Let's bounce a Grimbee off this door frame to check. Okay, Grimbees are going off right next to me. Okay, I know my hard right is clear. I'm only worried about deep sight. I don't have an angle into deep sight that I can quick peek, so I'm going to shoot my last Grimbee canister behind the desk, deep sight. Okay, now I've cleared all of the left side. I know he has to be on the right. It's either janitor, the couch, or the CEO conference room, right? I cleared all of that so quickly just with Grimbees. So instead of shooting Grimbees at people and locations that you already have information on just to get an exact ping, use Grimbees to clear angles that you don't want to manually clear it yourself. That's how you play Grim. Not only are you playing Grim wrong though, another operator that you're simply just playing incorrectly is Rook. Now, as Rook, your ability is you have Rook armor, and you can self-revive. Everyone knows this, right? But they don't actually logically use this to their advantage. If you know that you have Rook armor and you can self-revive, you need to be putting yourself in positions where you're able to self-revive safely. Let's say, for example, that I'm playing in Attic, right? And I want to contest Attic here, and maybe even the head holes behind me as well. If I'm playing Rook and I get downed, I have this huge ledge here that allows me to crawl back and self-revive myself. That's a second chance at life and a gunfight, and it's absolutely huge. The issue is people will take gunfights like this. They'll just face check people, and because they have an ACOG on a P90 or on an MP5, depending on whatever you use, they'll just start swinging everybody. They get an ego about themselves. And when you're wide swinging without any cover and you get downed, someone's just going to finish you off. Pause. But you get the idea. As Rook, you want to be being in positions where you're able to self-revive yourself. So instead of swinging, hold longer angles. If I hold this long angle, someone kills me, they pre-fire me, whatever it is, then I get downed, I can self-revive from here, right? Now, excluding the head holes behind you, let's find a different position that makes more sense. If I'm holding white stairs, it makes less sense for me to be swinging top white and killing the kid here, but it makes much more sense for me to be on this doorway holding the angle, or on this doorway holding the angle, so that when I get downed, I can easily crawl to the left right here and self-revive myself. So as Rook, hold tighter and longer angles that are safer for you to self-revive, instead of swinging because you like the gun that you're using. Not only are people trying to get kills with Rook and being way too aggressive with Rook way too often, but you're doing the exact same thing on Ying as well. The mistake that I see Ying players making is they're trying to use Ying flashes for kills instead of taking space. It's pretty much the exact same tip with Blitz, but it's slightly different, which is why I still wanted to go over it. The thing about Blitz is that whenever you take space, you're able to maintain it with a shield, which makes your playstyle a little bit more stationary and a little safer. With Ying, that's not the same exact case. Ying is a bit more team-oriented because you're not able to maintain the space as much as you are able to take it, and you have to rely on your teammates to help you maintain the space, which is why she's more team-oriented than someone like a Blitz. I still think she's a great solo queue operator if you know how to take space with her effectively though, which is why I wanted to include her in this video. I'm going to bring you back to the same exact place that I brought you with Blitz so that it's easier for you to understand. With Blitz, your priority was taking space and getting kills secondarily if you were close enough to use the flash as a side option. But with Ying, you want to use her to take space by getting kills and only using the Ying flashes to clear rooms as a side option instead. It's the reverse as Blitz. Most people think that it's the other way around, but I promise you it is not. If you want to know more about why this is, check out my Blitz video that I made on a certain Blitz player with 10,000 hours at the end of this video. So the thing about Ying is you need to take space with Ying, yes, but the only way that you can take space with Ying is by flushing players out of a certain space with your Ying candelas. If I know there's a player that's AK rack holding me on dirt, or I know there's a player on box 1 holding me dirt, either way, I could send in a flash right about here to flash both of these players and make them run away, and if they don't run away, I can easily secure these kills. But my main goal isn't actually to get the kills. It's to take all of this space so that I can smoke this off. Oh, I have vibration charges. But I can smoke that off, I can smoke that off, and roll a no-cooked Ying Candela here to waste time to get the bomb down. The only reason that Ying is slightly more kill-heavy than someone like Blitz is because in order to actually take the space with the Ying flashes, you have to cook them in order to get a kill. Whereas with Blitz, you were able to just face check people with a shield and scare them enough to make them run away. Ying really isn't as scary. So if I know there's a player here, I know there's a player box 1, and I know my right's clear, I'm just going to send a fully cooked Ying Candela in right here, wait for it to blind them, and then I'm going to run up and take the kill or shoot them as they're running away or let them run away so that I can take all of this space. Now, because I can't maintain the space very well because I'm not playing a shield, what I need to do is roll a Ying Candela that isn't cooked at all to waste the most amount of time because it takes time to roll and then detonate so that my teammates can get the bomb down. But in order to take the space, I had to kill them with a fully cooked Ying Candela because her flashes are much more consistent than a Blitz flash. Which is why, as Ying, instead of focusing on getting kills, you should be focusing on getting kills that allow you to take space. If you enjoyed this video, check out this next video about that Blitz player that I talked about, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.